I recently sat down and rewatched The Dark Knight for what seemed like the 500th time, but this time I did so with a purpose. I was looking for a moment, some call it an Oscar moment. The moment where Heath Ledger transcends the character of the Joker into something beyond anything else any other actor could and had accomplished that year. And I got to this moment, where Joker is being interrogated at Gotham PD, and two things hit me. The first was exactly what I was hoping for. It was this moment I thought to myself, good God, he is the Joker. But I also couldn't shake the feeling that I had just watched this very scene. Here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That these two scenes accomplish nearly the same things for the character and the actor. See, this in my opinion is an Oscar-winning Joker scene, and this, in the Academy's opinion, is as well. But the question is, well, why? How? So let's break down the anatomy of these scenes.
Don't talk like one of them, you're not. Even if you'd like to be.
I think it starts with motivation. Why are these characters here? These two scenes share a lot of parallels in that regard. Arthur finds himself face to face with someone he believes completes him in his own twisted way. He believes he's face to face with a man he once wanted to be. In a way, Murray is the thing he needed to feel whole. He needs the recognition, and he's here by choice. He's here to make himself heard, seen. It's a moment of misdirection for the audience itself, but we'll come back to that. This is the moment that the movie completes its journey. Arthur is ready to end it all. A life is on the line. What we don't know is one of two has to go. Whereas the Joker is facing a similar reality. As he says,
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No, you complete me.
Batman is his motivation. Batman completes the Joker. He is the sole foundation of his anarchy, and he's here too in an almost climactic way to make his point to the Bat. And he's also here by choice. And here too is a climactic moment with two lives on the line. Again, one has to go. It's also, which again we'll come back to, is a moment of manipulation, as is Arthur's. We don't know what he does, that he wanted to be caught. And throughout these two scenes, both Joaquin and Heath articulate a single feeling: control. This scene is Joaquin acting with a total understanding of the moment and the character, acting in complete control. Every facial movement is precise, every vocal inflection with purpose.
You're awful, Murray.
Me? I'm awful? Oh yeah, how am I awful?
It's the moment here where we, through nothing but the placement of his stare and a shift in facial expression, begin to understand that Arthur is losing control of his emotions. But it's the way that both actors say a single line that is an example of an actor taking control of a script.
You got nothing left to lose? Nothing can hurt me anymore.
You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing to do with all your strength.
This moment, this is important. This is the moment where both of these characters and actors establish their menace. See, this is not scary.
All of that chit-chat's gonna get you hurt.
But this
You got nothing left to lose?
is. And it's all about how it's played. Arthur's very quiet admission that he no longer cares about consequence is startling. Joaquin faces the audience, the world, as if to say, there's nothing you can do to me now. The thing that had been beating him down was now at the mercy of his decisions. And Joaquin delivers the line with spite, with derision, and even with a small smile, suggesting he finds it funny, telling us, the audience, that he's now capable of anything, and it feels, given that unconvincing smirk, like Arthur is just now realizing that as well. And this undresses the feeling of comfort for the people watching the show, Murray, and us, the viewer. We think we know what's about to happen. Arthur's going to end his life, but Joaquin's roller coaster of inflection, tone, and facial cues throughout this scene begins to make us uncertain. This shot also helps. In it, we can no longer make out Arthur. It's just a blurry image of something horrifying. We only see the makeup. The duality of Arthur's personality displayed in two separate shots. A coming out party for the Joker, if you will. But the Joker here is articulating kind of the same thing, but instead of the world or to the audience, it's to Batman. Heath doesn't hide the irony of the situation. He laughs with certainty in Bruce's face as he lets him know that in this moment he is invincible. He can't be hurt. Batman won't kill him. He's winning. He is free. And through a smile that never leaves his face, once Batman lifts him off the ground, he takes a beating from Bruce, but he laughs. Heath keeps a frightening smile on his face. He shows us the pain that he's in with every punch and moment of impact, but he smiles as he winces. And before that, throughout this entire encounter, he was convincingly certain. He spends this 4 minutes convincing us with his expression and with one line that he's in power. But it's nuance in these performances that drive home their impact.
You're awful, Murray.
Me? I'm awful? Oh yeah, how am I awful?
Playing my video.
Here you see Joaquin at what I think is his best. Just watch his eyes as they glaze over, his jaw trembling, and this is what follows. And in 5 seconds, through nothing but inflection, through nothing but his eyes, we know he's snapped. And that very depressed, very angry look shifts quickly to the rest of his face. That rage shifts to a sad smile. Tears fill Phoenix's eyes. We see him putting on a face, almost like the makeup. And in that face, we see him struggle with the decision that he's about to make. We see sadness, humanity, and it's frightening because we know he's just made up his mind. And even he's having an upsetting realization of what he's about to do. But there's a separation here between the performances that is worth talking about.
Me? I was right here.
Where these two performances really distinguish themselves and where the two performances elevate themselves beyond traditional superhero fare is in how these actors choose to portray stress. Heath plays this scene in its entirety with the knowledge that the Joker has the upper hand. He's cold, he takes his time, he never raises his voice even after a joke. A smile is never cracked, at least not a real one, until Bruce loses his cool. This is a character at his most calculated. He wants Bruce to know that he's winning, and as Bruce does lose control, Heath's laugh becomes almost sarcastic. That smile creeps up on his face. It's almost condescending. As the situation escalates, Heath's ability to be menacing without pushing towards manic articulated just how much of a threat Heath's Joker is. Just how certain and premeditated this behavior is. Through nothing but a moment where his inflection shifts and his eyebrows lift, we begin to question just how much we and Bruce understand about what's really going on. Throughout the entire scene, he manages to portray dominance quietly. It's Bruce who can't control himself. Arthur, Joaquin, on the other hand, plays heavily into the manic nature of the character. This scene is a slow descent into madness, a microcosm of the entire film. Instead of quiet dominance, Joaquin's Joker suddenly doesn't feel heard, as Murray slowly takes control over the interview. Arthur came here to be seen, and suddenly his voice is being silenced, so we slowly watch as Phoenix begins to violently display his rage, and you can see it in his face. Here Arthur needs to be seen, and as Murray begins to dictate the interview, he no longer feels he can do that with just a smile and a shocking statement. As an inverse to the Joker scene, Murray maintains the upper hand. Murray never loses his cool, forcing Arthur to be brasher and brasher until he's forced to act before the moment slips away. Joaquin's ability to articulate every bit of Arthur's personality in those 4 minutes is unreal. He's at once insecure, angry, excited, joyful, uncertain, and evil. We see him go from Arthur Fleck to the Joker in just a single scene. Look, winning an Oscar is an incredible achievement, but win or loss, it's not what defines a great performance. It is, after all, just an award. But what Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger accomplished individually are two of the best realizations of a pre-existing character in modern cinema. They are not the same performance, and there is no winner between the two. They took very different approaches to the Joker. Heath's more villainous, controlled insanity versus Phoenix's unhinged descent to that very reality. They are two very different people, two very different characters, but they both deserve the recognition. Comic book film or not, Hangover director or not, these performances will be looked at for direction and inspiration for years. The Joker will never be forgotten, and Arthur will never go unheard again.
Can you introduce me as Joker?
That is it for this episode of Nerdstalgic, guys. If you stick around for about 15 more seconds, I do have a quick message for you guys that could really help me out. But first, if you enjoyed the video, press that like button. If you haven't yet done so, press subscribe. That way you won't miss anything that I put out on this channel in the future. So part of what inspired me to make this video was Travis Langley's audiobook, Batman in Psychology. I listened to it on Audible, and they happened to reach out to me, and they were kind enough to sponsor this video. If you want to help support this channel, there's a free way to do it. You can start listening to Audible with a 30-day free trial. You can choose one audiobook into Audible Originals absolutely free just by visiting audible.com/nerdstalgic or texting Nerdstalgic to 500-500. It's there where you too can check out Travis Langley's Batman and Psychology. I use Audible when I'm commuting or learning about a new topic for the channel. And what's really great right now is if you finish 3 audiobooks by March 3rd, you'll get a $20 Amazon credit. That's simple. You finish 3 audiobooks by March 3rd and get $20. So again, to help this channel out, you can do a 30-day free Audible trial by going to audible.com/nerdstalgic or texting Nerdstalgic to 500-500. And as always, on your screen right now are 2 more episodes of Nerdstalgic. You can click on either of those to see what I've done recently, and I will see you guys in the next video.